inside scoop on finances or not? Yes. Okay, so this is what my financial advisor told me. Based on numbers, the jobless claims look way worse than 2008. All right, I want you guys to get into something that's called mindset on your mind. You're gonna listen to this information and then you're gonna get rid of this information because you guys are the best sales professionals in the San Fernando Valley. Not only are you the best sales professionals, but you guys are the most highly skilled sales professionals. So you guys are gonna make a decision today that you're gonna determine what your marketplace is gonna become, and I'm just gonna give you the valuable information. Jobless claims are much, much more higher than during the 2008 recession. What does that mean to you guys? Opportunity. There's an opportunity. Yeah, there's something that's going to happen. There's going to be some type of explosion. Something's going to happen. The CARES Act is going up till the end of July, which means that a lot of the people that you guys know are probably making more money on unemployment right now than if they were at their regular job. Does that make any sense? I think federal is giving about 800, state is giving about 400. I don't know the right numbers, but
4 and 6.
4 and 6, right? So that's a G every month, every week. That's 4 G's. Hey, I'll take 4 G's.
Unemployment you use it to buy a home, right?
You cannot use it, so that's why those are all topics that are very important. You can save up the down payment, yeah. So there's a lot of topics here. That's why I was curious to see what reaction I would get. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me tell you guys something. And a lot of you guys haven't paid attention to this because you guys don't read your California Association of Realtors emails. There's money out there for you guys. All you got to do is go on, and I have it. I'll give it to you guys. I was just trying to see who can figure it out. But based on the taxes that you guys reported last year, they give you guys a debit card and they'll fund you about 2-3 months. You guys should be on top of that because you guys have been in real estate for a minute.
Can I add something to
that?
I didn't know if I wanted to share this, but I did follow up the EDD.
Did you?
As
how much did you get?
Self-employed.
Yeah.
And it gives me like $900 a week.
Hey.
You know the crazy part about that though?
Right.
Since I own my own LLC,
yeah.
I spoke to my CPA, I don't have to report that I'm making any funds since I'm keeping the cash into my business.
Why haven't the rest of you guys done this?
I tried to do that, but I had to put how much I made the last month.
Just get the net. This goes back to this, to knowing your numbers. And I'm going to share with you guys a podcast that was recently created. You didn't?
No.
No, but it's all about your net in 2019. I already went through the whole questionnaire. I haven't filed because I'm considered a wage earner. You guys are still, yeah, I'm W-2, so mine would be a completely different type of claim, and I'm still employed. But for you guys, I would say, and you know what? I'll share the link with you guys. I'll make it easier for you guys, and that's the reason for our mastermind every single morning. This is a topic that's very, very important. David's getting $900 every week for the next few weeks, but that's going to end at July. I don't know if the federal government is ready to print another $4 trillion, which at this point, if they don't, guess what's going to happen to all the people that have been collecting unemployment? They're going to run out of money. They're going to run out of money. They're going to go into panic. And guess what they're going to be doing?
Sell their homes.
Or closing, selling their homes, or looking for a job. Estimated 52 million Americans will be without jobs by the end of this pandemic, which is almost coming to its end. What's the beautiful thing about this? That you guys have been training through a full pandemic to be the best possible salesperson that you can be. So did I give you really bad news right now? I think they're bad news. But I want you guys to know 2021 and 2022 are years that are going to be full of growth for you guys as individuals. For you guys as individuals. Right now, you have to make a conscious decision that you're going to go and get good leads versus bad leads. And today I'm going to give you guys a very, very good golden nugget because I've determined that I have much greater amount of success in all of my appointments because I understand what to request from the actual borrower or client at the initial presentation. Does that make sense? So anyway, let's get started. Global Day, week 2. Anybody want to share some wins with us? I know we got some business going on. Jesse, I've been seeing you sign up a bunch of escrow paperwork. Any wins that you guys got? Come on, you guys have wins. Because if not, I got wins. And I want to share my wins too.
Share them.
All right, so One of my wins that was very, very important is I've been strategizing on how to put together a podcast, get into the whole YouTube thing. Yeah, we did try it. And it just kept failing. So I've been working on my action plan. And believe it or not, the power of writing things down has made me become a more productive individual. That's one of my victories. That I feel like the pandemic hasn't hurt me. I feel like it's actually helped me to be a more structured individual. And I feel like I'm 15, 20 steps ahead of a lot of people in the industry just because I've stayed working. So to me, that's like a very big win. You know what I'm saying? That's a win. Not a championship.
We started the podcast way before your podcast was
I know, we were doing
the scary part. Imagine we would have kept going.
Yeah, that's like a 3-year podcast.
Yeah.
It was a radio station. And we had singers that would come in. Anyway, anybody else have any wins that you guys want to share? Yes, David.
Me and Jesse, we opened up escrow for a land that I'm selling to him and his family.
No way. That's a huge win.
Yeah.
Any other wins that you guys want to share with us today?
Another one I wanted to share this one as well. I put up a house on the market on Friday. Today we're countering 3 offers.
During the pandemic.
Damn.
So David said he put a house on the market. 3 days he had an offer. Any other wins before we move on?
I funded today.
You funded a deal today? That's a huge win. We funded a deal today too.
Yeah.
So that's another win. Anybody else have any wins, or you guys?
Edward, look at the board. Look at that.
Easy,
Talk
Edward.
about it, man.
Anyway, well, congratulations on your wins. Remember, the book of the month. You guys already know this. Think and Grow Rich. Today, I want you guys to know that I've been using a lot of the auto suggestion tactics for myself, and they've been working. I think we literally closed the just on pure auto suggestions. Like you're gonna close. You're gonna close. It's gonna close. You're gonna close. It's gonna close. Those auto suggestions, you need them because the thing is that there's so many important components. But if you don't have this book, order it. I think this book is like $7. Put it in your shelf at home. Somebody picks it up. You know what's the most interesting part is that now that I'm getting very involved with my daughter's school, a lot of the books that I had already been planting in her brain, they're already starting to bring them up. Puts her a step ahead of the game. This is the type of stuff. These are the books that people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go into a 4-year university to learn these strategies. So you don't need to do all that unless you want to. If you want to go to school, I need to get a clicker. All right, so I want to go with you guys over the upcoming meetings. Every single morning, we have a mastermind meeting at 8:30 a.m. You guys need to make sure that you guys start to make a predetermined commitment to show up to this morning mastermind. I get it. You can't show up every single time. But if you finally tune your morning routine, guys, I'm telling you, you're going to be highly productive. Be very productive about this. Number one. Number two, whoever is on the other side looking at what's actually happening is like, wow, Teresa has a structure. She's not the agent that shows up at 2 p.m. and does one thing and then leaves. It's okay, hey, but you're still, we're looking for improvement. Game changer classes as every Monday. This Monday, did we have a game changer or not? We did not. So this coming Monday, we have a game changer. In that game changer, I'm going to be pushing contracts because the contracts are the most important part of your success as a real estate salesperson. We're going to update templates. We're going to be doing all that stuff in our game changer classes. I want you guys to be able to defend yourself, contingency of sales, extension of contracts, a bunch of things that are very important for your success in real estate. And I know everything is about hype in real estate, but if you don't know your contracts, you can't defend yourself. Those contracts are set up for you to defend yourself. Game changer class. And then our global day meeting, which is every other Thursday. This Thursday, we have global day, which is today. But I want to make sure that if you guys are not tuning in live, make sure that you guys register on your computer and get a little bit of the golden nuggets. Today's golden nuggets are going to be very good because you guys are going to have the opportunity to learn several things. So monthly top individuals for sales, Mr. Estrada, let's give him a round of applause. For listings, not the unusual, Mr. David Patikian. And for closing, David Patikian. So congratulations, David, on your closings for this month. That just means lunch on him. All right, so let's get into our topic. And I want you guys to write down real quick buyer's needs list. That's something that's very, very important to you guys because during the pre-qualification process, you guys are going to learn that sometimes the lender is not really on it. Even when people, even people in our in-house lending, sometimes it takes some time to really get them to make that phone call. Can you guys agree to that? Okay. How would you guys feel if I'm gonna give you guys the power to request every single piece of paper so that you can really give the lender a turnkey product? Like, hey, I've already collected all of the documentation. I need to get this pre-qualification done. Does that make any sense to you guys? Why do I love to do that? Is because I love to tell a customer, show up with this needs list. And during that process, I'm rating the commitment. If a customer gives you all of their financial documentation, does that show commitment or not?
It does.
Doesn't it? So wouldn't you want to take the customer down that step versus so much soft opening? This is a method for you guys to, and write this down, hard close. You guys are going to go for the hard close. During this hard close, you guys are going to be giving all the items that are required right now. For you guys that are brand spanking new to the industry and the business, this is one thing I want you guys to remember. If your client is going to finance at any specific time, every banking institution is going to require a very detailed needs list of what they need to bring. And here's the items, and I wrote notes on them so that you guys could take notes of them. Driver's license is so important. Why is the driver's license important?
And that's a no, yeah.
Why do you want to identify the client?
To make sure we're working with the right person.
Right. Most importantly, and this is something that's a game changer for me, is how do you know how to properly write the name of the contracts? I've had escrow stalled for weeks because they'll tell me, hey, Jesse, by the way, you missed 15 of their names, but specifically in our culture, some of these people have these names that are like, and then they put they. Like they belong to somebody. I'm like, man, really, huh? You type up the incorrect contract and you're at the moment of funding, and guess what? All of a sudden you need a name addendum. And you were right in the middle of funding. God knows that those bills are so behind that every other day that passes by, you need to make sure that deal closes. Does that make sense?
It does.
Get into the habit of collecting the copy of the driver's license. And it's always required for anybody that's going to be on the loan. Very typical. Pay attention to this. David wants to buy. David can't qualify by himself. David brings a co-borrower. There's a second buyer. What do I have to do? Follow the specific procedure for David with them. I don't care whatever's happening. I need to make sure that I have the proper information because they're going to be on what? On the loan. Okay? This is an important document to also verify fraud. You know how many times I've had clients tell me there's somebody that they're not? I've had it with sellers, buyers. I've had so many people. Oh, you're on the spell. I've had so many people. And that becomes an issue. How hard is it to collect an identification? Matter of fact, how many of you guys carry a copy of your identification on your phone? Most of your buyers do. Why not request it? Social Security card, write this down. This is something that you guys need to request. I will tell you one thing, that 60% of people won't have the Social Security card. You know why? Because they're super unorganized and they don't have it. Myself included. My Social Security. There's a Social Security Administration verification form that the borrower is able to fill out. And that's not on here. That's already going into the mastery of this if they don't have that. So if they don't have their Social Security card, you've got to set up the customer to say, hey, there's going to be a disclosure on your pack of documents that's going to be a Social Security number verification form that's valid for 30 days. If they don't have this, because this is for them, this is for, and I wrote down some notes. It's essential that you can provide your lender a copy of your Social Security card. They're going to request it all the time. Paul, you've seen on these transactions, how many times do they request a Social Security card? Every single time. Lending for foreign nationals is possible, but extremely challenging, which is why foreign buyers usually have to purchase properties with all cash. Why am I bringing this up on this topic? Because if you have a foreign buyer, it's going to be very difficult for them to borrow money.
So we're talking with someone with an 19, pretty much.
Yes. So that's why I'm just preparing you guys. Why do I say this? Because you guys are going to get clients that are going to come in with a Social Security card, and it's going to say this is only allowed for work, or it's going to have those specifics. Those things are red flags for you guys to be able to say, hey, Should I be asking the lender a question about this? Guys, I'm teaching you guys how to be the quarterback in your own deal. The average real estate agent, that's not my finance part. I don't care about that. I just want to sell the home. No, get to know this. This puts you a step ahead of the game every single time. Another important is the pay stubs, most recent pay stubs. I want you guys to write this stuff down. If somebody tells you, David, right now that they want to buy a house, you already have 3 of the most important things that they need to bring so that they can get pre-qualified. Yes, David.
I was gonna ask, because I've heard ITIN before, but I don't know what that is.
That's a tax ID number that's provided to somebody that cannot obtain a social security number or a corporation or a business. The past 30 to 60 days of pay stubs are required to prove your income is as you say it is. You need to make sure that you are telling the customer, come in, bring me 30 to 60 days of pay stubs. The objection you'll get, I don't have them. They're electronic. What do? Email them to me, please.
Screenshot, email them.
Yeah, screenshot, whatever you have to do. Everybody has access. I think most of the companies, I think you could even log on to something that's registered on their site and you pull up everything.
Yeah.
You just got to be adamant on collecting all these documents. It is so important for you guys to have them if you want to succeed at a higher pace. If you do not want to succeed at a higher pace, if you want to let somebody else quarterback that deal, just wait and see how frustrated you're going to be. Does that make any sense? Because, I mean, here we really push. I'm always telling David, let's do this, let's go. And same thing back. But I've worked with other lenders where it's like, Jesus, it's already been 100 days. Like, come on, let's get this deal wrapped up. And I feel like I could have done a better job of doing it from the beginning. Tax returns, write down 1040. These are all numbers you guys should know. I would even encourage you, I don't want you guys to become tax preparers, so don't
Don't do that.
Don't do that, yeah. But, because we already have that handled.
Yeah.
But I would recommend that you guys take a little course H&R Block. You don't have to get your certification, but at least learn what these schedules mean so that you sound like a true professional out there.
This is a good class.
Yeah, I'll give you a class on it.
For a nice convenience fee of that.
No, of course.
Anyway,
I'm here to teach and preach.
so tax returns 1040. The past 2 years of your tax returns show your mortgage lender your income, your employer address, your verified your social security number, and more. This is what the taxes do for your customer. Be very alert. I see so many people that, and you guys have been live with me at the appointments. I have clients that are yielding $1 million in sales. Tell me why they report like 15 G's. I'm like, man, how do you want to qualify for something like that? Then the pipeline is so weak that you start to look for a bunch of these clients because they're the easiest clients to get, and then you don't have a good closing ratio, and then you crash and burn. So that's why it's important. Get all these financial documentations. In my auto suggestions, I always tell my auto suggestions, I only want to deal with clients that are $150,000 income bracket. Because I know they're slam dunk deals. I don't got to go through all this creativity. I know they're going to get through it. It can be a huge hassle to scan in page by page if you don't have PDF version of your tax returns, but it's something that the lender must have. Stop getting the tax returns in format of pictures. The client will do that you guys can go through my phone. I'll give it to you guys. Everybody sends me the tax return in picture, and I'm like, I got to print out 100 pictures. I always tell them, come into my playing field, bring them in, I'll scan them in for you, I'll PDF them for you. Matter of fact, I'll put it on a USB, take it home.
Or you can do like a small investment. It's Adobe Photoshop. When they send it to a picture, then you can upload that to Adobe, scan it, and
does it do that?
Yeah, it'll turn it into a PDF.
And I think I've tried it, but the only problem is that some of the pictures are so blurry and bad that even when it goes into the conversion, it's a mess. You guys have seen it, and we've been stuck with underwriters where it's like, send me this page of this page because this one looks blurry, and I'm like, man, are you serious? I could have done all this setup work from the beginning. So make sure that you guys, look, as a customer service representative in sales, you guys are dealing with the average client that I'm dealing with, which is a client that bought a house 20 years ago. They don't even know about electronic signatures. They don't know about PDF. They don't know about email address. Maybe this could be part of your checklist. Maybe you could tell the customer, hey, you're going to provide me the tax returns. And not only am I going to take copies, I'm going to PDF them for you. I bought 10 USBs on Amazon. And I'll return you your tax returns in a USB. That goes a long way. I've done it for a lot of clients. And I always remind them, hey, remember I got you those documents? Just, that's all I need. Return them and we'll go. Set them all up. But the thing is that we're missing opportunities because we're not looking at the bigger picture. Tax returns, you guys wrote that down, right? So W-2s and 1099. Your W-2 states how much money your employer paid you over the past year. Now in your sales calls, and I saw that call that you did right now, congratulations, that was a good live closing call. I want you to start to implement, by the way, when the lender calls you, here's the list of items that I think you should have ready now.
I'm going to send.
Yeah, send it to them and push on it, because the thing is that they know some of these clients, it takes them a couple of weeks to get those. And you guys give up at the sign of that defeat. I tell you guys, do the complete opposite. Go to the client's house and tell them, hey, I send you the list. Can I pick up the documents?
It kind of shows you, it shows you how strong their motivation is too.
Right.
How quick they're gonna get the stuff. If if I asked for, I had a buyer yesterday called me. He's like, oh, I'm ready to buy. Like, okay, can you send me your ID and your email right now? And within a couple of seconds, she sent it to me. I was like, okay, now I know that she's really serious.
And that's great feedback. And that's exactly why I'm trying to make sure you guys have this golden nugget, because a lot of these clients that want you to show property are not so motivated.
No.
Guys, at the beginning of my career in real estate, I felt like I was a Lyft Uber driver. I was driving people around, showing them the house. Then somebody that was a better, highly skilled closer would do this, get all their documents. Who do you think they're going to commit to more?
The person that
they're going to commit to the person that had an actual structure where, like, hey, the other guy, Jesse's dumb. He was out showing us property without any pre-qualification. The other guy that doesn't want to show us properties, he structured us. Hey, he cared about the finances. People care about their financial status, believe it or not. So this is just for you to really, really push on saying, hey, I'm going to pre-qualify you. Okay, this is important. Since lenders are looking at your last 2 years of income as a part of your debt to income ratio, let me stop right there. I've given you guys the opportunity to learn several times how to determine debt to income ratio. When I first determined the debt to income ratio, I was so crazy about it and learning that I think I was starting to annoy everybody around me. Like, what's your DTI? They're like, what does that mean? Debt to income ratio. Can I calculate yours? Rude awakening for a lot of people. But here's how you calculate it. You get your income, grab your income, grab your debt. So you're going to get your debt, and then you're going to divide the debt by your income. Not your complete debt. I don't want you to grab everything. When I speak about debt, write debt right now, wherever you're writing it down. Below that, put your monthly minimum payment or your liabilities. So let me give you an example. Write down an example. Jesse, myself, I speak about myself, gets pre-qualified, and Teresa sitting across the table, and you sleep more. And yeah, you want to sleep late, huh? Like 1, 2.
We're playing tonight.
You even have to get up. Like, Teresa says, Jesse, real quick, thank you for your financials. We're going to run your credit as soon as the loan officer gets involved, but not quite yet. I just want to understand your debt to income ratio. How many car payments do you have? I say I have a $500 car payment. Write down $500. What about your wife? She has a $500 car payment. What's 500 plus 500?
1,000.
All right, let's talk about credit cards, Mr. Guzman. This is what Teresa asked me. All right, well, I have a Home Depot card. What's the minimum payment on that one? $100. Add $100 to those, $1,000. Victoria's Secret. How much is that? 25. I just use it once in a while. Not for myself. $25. Well, does that make sense? I have to disclose that. What's another one? Best Buy. Best Buy, $50. All that stuff. Everything added up. What is that? That's my debt, right? All right. So let's just say you pull the taxes, you run an average. My monthly income is $5,000. So divide my debt versus my income. What is that? Somebody do it real quick. Come on, I'm trying to teach you guys. Once you guys know this, if you guys don't practice it, this is a game changer. This is gonna make you a better sales professional. Teresa, how beautiful would it be if you could already kind of know, like David, I know they're gonna qualify for about 500,000. Let's just get the job done. So much easier of a layup for all of us.
You mean deducting 1,100?
No, grab 1,100, divided. So that's the debt, right? Divided by the income, which is, let's say, 5,000.
Okay.
So do it real quick. You guys need to practice it. Gravity debt divided by
20,
the income.
23%.
23%, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so far, without a monthly liability for mortgage, they're already at 23%. They need to be somewhere below 50% to qualify. So that means that the remainder of that debt to income ratio is only about 22%. They could only afford another $1,300.
Wait, go back. So it's not the rest of the income. It's 50% of that.
Yes.
Okay. So
So
we're gonna
it's-
pretty much cut it in half and be like, that's what you can afford.
Yes. So what I like to do off the top, even if I don't ask about liabilities, which most people will tell me their liabilities up front, I'm like, tell me your income, 5,000 a month. I divide that by 50% or divide it by 2 because that's the standard DTI according to the lending guidelines. And right now I know it's a little bit less, but they qualify for a $2,500 mortgage.
Minor liability.
If they don't have liability. So if they have $1,000 in cards, guess what? Now they don't qualify for 2,500. Now they qualify for what?
1,500.
For 1,500. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Calm down.
Going to Palmdale.
The only reason I'm saying this is because the only reason I'm saying this is because sometimes I pull up and I'm like, I'm about to pre-call somebody and I'm like, oh, that's a G-Wagon. Oh man, that income ratio is so bad. They're not gonna qualify. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to get you guys to think out loud. But this part is very important. If you guys write this down, you guys will have the solution to your problems all the time. Get the D, which is debt, and then get the T, which is 2, income. The 2 income. Guys are rude. I just want to make sure that I'm trying to be like Apple. I want to make sure a 7-year-old understands this. I'm making this video for my daughter. So debt divided by income. That's how you
So
calculate.
where does the down payment come into play for purchasing power?
That's why everything works backwards.
Okay.
Like if you know you have a debt to income ratio at 50% and you're already pushing it and it's being stretched, what's the next solution to your problem is a larger down payment. That's why you gotta that's why I always tell people we're highly paid to figure out these numbers. Most people don't know these numbers. I know so many people selling and I call and I'm like, hey, what's your client's DTI? I don't know.
So let's take the scenario. let's take this scenario that you have and let's inject $50,000 for down payment.
So my question to you is going to be, what's the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment on whatever purchase price you have minus 50,000? So you have to. That's why the numbers are so important because everything comes down to how well your borrower is qualified, so that you can arrive at the closing table. But I guarantee you, if you have all of this stuff, you're gonna have so many unanswered questions. Have you guys ever run into a file where you're running into income problems just because there was some type of missing information? So for the W-2s, that's the procedure. For 1099s, if you're an independent contractor, rather than employee, they have to provide the 1099s. Write down 1099s. Don't forget it. I don't get any pay stubs. That's okay. You get a 1099 somewhere, or show me your return.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Or source of income.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? Here's a golden nugget. Go after those self-employed individuals. Their center of influence are big.
Aquí está el nuevo.
They're that one guy that always refers somebody to you because they're in business. I have several of those clients.
Yeah.
Those clients are responsible for like 20% of my business. I'm gonna collect a paycheck just with those clients. You guys need to be able to create that. But make sure that you guys understand that 1099 is W-2. W-2 is your wager, 1099 is the other person. Bank statements. You know how many times I would show properties and the people had no money in their bank account? So where's the money coming from? I thought it was 0% down. I'm like, no, it's not 0%. You know why I like these income documents? Because I feel like the people that plan to purchase have already structured all this. I find myself finding customers that are more like, let's have a strategy meeting first, Jesse. And this is GPP sales team. You might have to do that, have a strategy meeting, and then yield a return on that client 6 months later. I'll give you a clear example of the Gallardo family. They're going to be closing escrow pretty soon. How long did that take, David, from the initial pre-qual? That was about a year, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Did we give up on that
They were-
customer? Absolutely not.
I think we started at the Christmas party last year, and we finally got them ready to
Right.
go. So
And
now
all
they're
it was is just follow up. Your average agent will turn that relationship down because they don't know. The bank will examine the debits and credits thoroughly, so don't try to hide anything. Do not try to hide anything. If the customer doesn't have it, they don't have it. Don't try to be that agent that gets creative. I know so many agents out there. Well, we can figure it all out. No, it's going to stop your escrow. Like, why would you want to figure it out at the 11th hour? Do not do that. And then you have to go out and get a family member and friend that needs to make sure that they gift them the money. And they're so scared of the real estate market that they think you're committing fraud. That's why you're signing all these documents. And it's like, no, it's just a procedure. I think you guys can avoid that by being true sales professional from the beginning. For example, if you have a check for $1,000 going out to a family member, the loan underwriter will ask you for a letter for an explanation. They're going to ask for explanations. I'm so good at reading bank statements now that I could tell you a person's lifestyle and what they do and their habits just by looking at their bank statements. Actually, interestingly enough, why don't you do it for yourself? Go and review your bank statements and see what you guys are spending. I look at people and I'm like, damn, that much Jack in the Box? That's two a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I see the Target run, and I'm like,
You see-
$500
you see
on
Starbucks.
Target?
Target's dangerous, though. You know what I mean? You look for one
It is
day.
very dangerous, but these are the type of customers that you like. I give that in my presentations, like, hey, let's take it easy on the Target expenses. So like, you could have got your down payment in 6 months with the amount of money.
Is that letter of explanation in order?
It does not need to be notarized, but at some point in time, if the underwriter does not feel like there's clarity, they will ask you for a number to verify. Not very common, but does it happen? Yeah. But I just want you guys to have a clear understanding, because people used to tell me, first show me the property, I'll give you the bank statements later. No, first show you the property, not. Show me the bank statements first, and then we'll go see the property. Yeah.
I get those buyers where they're just like, look, I know I have 800 score, I have this much in my account. First, I want to look at some properties. Those people I usually just drop, because I'm like, well, no, I need the pre-approval first, so I don't want to get your hopes up in case it doesn't work out. What would you still keep trying to work with them in a different approach, or?
So this is what I would do. I like to think of the business portion of it, that everybody deserves a shot. I understand. I understand being in the consumer's position, but they've dealt with a crappy real estate agent in the past, because 99.999% of people in the business only signed up to sell their own home. They just happened to land into an industry. As far as I'm concerned, every single person here chose real estate as a career. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
So they're already really shaky about, is this guy even, like, do I even trust this guy? So if you're finding yourself doing that, stick to a protocol of, I'm only going to show them 2 homes. If after the second home, they don't come and do the whole process of my pre-qualification. And this is only through the come one, come all stage. Like right now, if you look at how I communicate with clients, I'm like, hey, before we set up the meeting, have all the financials ready if I'm going to go. And I've already tailored it to that level where it's like they always have it ready. I've already graduated from that. But right now, since if you are in the, hey, I just need to take on business, I need to get these pipelines full, 1, 2 properties, if they don't show you any commitment after that, drop. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to start to calculate how much money does it cost you to drive around buyer A versus how much it's costing you to drive around buyer B or C. If buyer A is yielding you more results and you choose to spend time with buyer B and C that are costing you more, then you're going to have an issue. Does that make any sense? And you guys have all gone through it. You got, for the new people, you're going to be like, damn, I showed this client like 1 million homes and they never provided all the right information. You finally found the dream home. They provide you the bank statement, and the bank statement has like 2 NSF fees of $35. And you're like, how am I going to show the underwriter a bank statement with non-sufficient fund fees? Where are you going to get the money from? Oh, I have it all in cash. Okay, great. How are we going to show it to the bank? How are we going to be able to get over the anti-laundering disclosure that's in your paperwork saying that that money doesn't come from drug trade or You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like to put all these things together. So make sure you guys have to document everything. Yes.
Also, make sure you find you $5,000 because you wanted to large sum of cash.
Yeah, that's huge. That's another great topic.
Stopping your track.
Yeah, I always tell customers from the beginning, please do not buy any furniture. I know you're going to get excited. Do not buy any cars. Do not make any large purchases. Do not go to Best Buy because you're going to get a very good deal on the washer and dryer. Don't do any of that stuff. And the worst thing you can do is deposit large sums of money because they will want you to source that all the way to the end. So great topic. Mortgage statement. Why am I saying mortgage statement? They don't have a house yet, Jesse. Okay, well, some of them do. And believe it or not, this is the marketplace where a lot of your buyers are getting into this game right now because they're trying to get their second investment home. They know the time is here and the time is now. I have never, and this is the good news. I give you guys some bad news at the beginning about the unemployment, right? The United States has never seen this type of consumer confidence during this type of recession. Because I want you guys to know we're in a recession right now as we speak. Is that something to be feared of? No. Some of the largest companies get developed during those times. But the reality of stuff is that a lot of your buyers are already going to be very deep into the real estate game. They're looking to get that other deal right now. So the mortgage statement is importantly, if you currently own a home, whether you plan on selling it to buy to step up, or if you plan on renting it to live in another home, you need to show your lender exactly how much you are paying monthly for your current home. They need to know how much is your current liability, because remember we talked about liabilities originally? Well, guess what they're going to do with that liability? They're going to factor it in into how much purchasing power you have. A lot of this helps me, so when I do the financial assessment, I tell the customer, even though I know you want to keep the home and you think it's the best, your numbers don't allow it. You got to sell your home. And guess what they do? Listing contract. And all of a sudden, your small deal that was only going to be a buyer representation has become like a quadruple agency. These are all cash registers, guys. You guys need to be very, very aware of them. I'm giving you guys the nitty gritty. If you're underwater on your current home, you probably won't be able to buy a second home. So what would I do if I got a mortgage statement like this one? I would go do my fanatical research on that home. Our game changer topic is going to be about fanatical prospecting and fanatically developing the customer. If you guys are not fanatic about this type of stuff, you're going to get stuck. Guys, I'm just trying to show you how to get to 2 units every single month. It's up to you if you want to make the con. Like this tool that I'm giving you right now, even me, I get pumped up to think like I'm going to go collect as much of this information as I can for a customer because I know this is going to yield me a very high return. And trust me, our lending team will be very thankful with you guys if you guys were to set up this layup, because not only would we avoid frustration about collecting documents and eliminating one person, but now you have created a very, very solid management relationship with the customer. If I give somebody my taxes, yo, Abraham, you have my taxes. Like, you better give me the results that I want. And we have a very, very serious relationship. Oh, thank you so much for the taxes. By the way, here's a buyer broker representation agreement because you feel strongly about that. Right. Start to implement these strategies into your business practice. Don't half do it because then you're going to have an issue. And the last one that's very important for you is the fire insurance bill. If the customer has a home, they need to provide a fire insurance bill. You want to know why? Because that's a liability that goes against them. This is the one liability that does not show up on the credit report that will go against the consumer. Because everybody always asks me, what about my cell phone bill? Does that have to do anything with my debt to income? No. Does your cell phone bill report it to your credit report? They don't, unless you're late or if you defaulted. But I've never seen a credit report that has a cell phone payment.
Experian is doing something where you can add your bill to your credit.
If you want to increment your credit score, right?
And you can boost it that way.
But it's not a common practice, but that's good for people that want to boost it, and that's great. We should probably do a lot more research to help the consumer that are on the wall about their credit. Maybe tell them, hey, report how well you've been paying your cell phone payment. But to be honest with you, I think I'm late on my cell phone payment most of the time. Yeah, like, it's not on purpose. It's just like one of those like.
Well, they have this thing called auto pay.
Oh, I'm not comfortable with that, you know, because my checking account is set up. I have to transfer the savings to the checking.
Well, they have something called auto transfer.
Oh, do they? Oh,
Come on,
I'm
huh?
gonna do this one, right? So anyway, your insurance bill is very, very, very important. I like to call my customers every year and I do a reassessment of their financials. I'm calling a lot of my customers and like, hey, how's the coverage right now on your property? I'm not an insurance broker, but I'm just a relationship manager. So I would get into the habit of doing like, and I know some of you guys are spanking you, but I'm just setting you up so that 25% of your return business that comes from past clients all the time. These people are transacting. What I don't want to happen is for you to have closed the deal. You felt so good about the job you did. You never followed up, and the people became so experienced at buying real estate that they've already closed 3, 4, 5 deals, and you're the person that first set it up for them. And it's happened to me. And when it happens to you, you're like, man, I've lost $500,000 in sales because of poor habits, lack of follow-up. So the tools that I'm giving you guys today and on this fire insurance topic is you guys need to make sure that you guys are using every single component to your advantage. If you guys need this presentation, I'm going to provide it for you guys so that you guys can religiously listen to it. And off the top, we're going to send you guys a mass email, everybody that's present, so that you guys have this needs list at the touch of your fingertips. You guys are converted a solid lead. The gentleman that was going to list this property, you're already relationship managing, right? We're going to do a deal for 1-point-something million or whatnot. That needs list should have been with him because we know he's going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not set ourselves up for that? That's another touch for you. Hey, you know what? I was just reviewing and getting trained at my office today, but they suggested that we provide this list to you of stuff that I'm going to need for you to get qualified because all this stuff is going to happen. Are you excited about it? Yeah, here's the list. I guarantee you that during this quarantine on his downtime, he's going to be like, damn, I don't have a lot of this stuff in place. That's the number one thing that I love about the pandemic is that this is really showing us our numbers. And you guys need to dig very deep into you either want to be a really, really good salesperson or you want to just have to do it all the time. I just gave you half of a day of training in 30 minutes of what a true loan officer does. So use that knowledge to your advantage. And if that client is a hot client right now, and if that client is a warm client right now, and if that client is a cold client, why don't you revive it by getting this checklist and calling them and be like, hey, I was just following up. When can you provide the tax returns for me? I'll go pick them up, by the way. I'll go get them for you. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, geez, I have another deal. And all of a sudden my pipeline was about to be 0. And I have another deal because I went out of my way to provide a service that's requested. I sure will tell you one thing, that everybody that I've qualified, when they find out that they don't qualify for the max amount that they want, automatically with that need list, they're like, I already gave it to my sister-in-law. She's going to sign for us. She's going to give you all the documents. You guys have seen it happen all the time. We just forget about it because it's right in front of us. And then all of a sudden I have such a well-trained customer that I'm like, oh, thank you. That was so easy. Here you go. Do your job. You know what I'm saying? But it's all our setup game. So anyway, I hope you guys got something. This is the one thing I'm going to request from you guys. Even if you do this at a level where you're only going to practice it once a week, try to figure out in your center of influence people's debt to income ratio and gather their financials. It's very, very interesting.
It gets addicting.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I want to find out what everybody. I even go around, your DTI is whack. I don't say that, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, you do, dog. No, yes, you do, dog. We
no,
know
now
you.
that I know that, like, I always wonder, like women and men shouldn't ask each other for numbers. They should ask for their social security to run their credit. Which is the other thing is like, what's your DTI? Like, you know, everybody should have. No, that's not. Nobody agrees with the guidelines.
It's a Tinder thing. It's a Tinder thing.
Yeah, yeah. Tinder should have the
DTI
on it. And it should have all that stuff. Anyway, do you guys have
something else?
FICO score? Does anybody have any questions before we move on? Because we still have a full day of sales activities to happen.
We're just trying to figure out how we get people with other talking.
It's just,
no.
it's just goodwill.
And like good drugs.
And yeah, I know goodwill and a lot of Vicodin. Is that the pill that gets it? Percocet. I still don't know about that. But anyway, any questions about bringing qualified customers to the table with this list? Is it pretty easy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
straightforward.
straightforward.
It's very straightforward, right? Again, I want to remind you guys are not giving tax advice.
Right.
You guys are not giving any type of advice. You're just getting the documentation. And then the process is so beautiful. Provide the information to David. David calls, does the appointment. They should be able to get pre-qualified within 45 minutes after having all this documentation. Because what I didn't explain to you guys, the pulling of the credit, I don't want you guys to get into that. Just set up the layup. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. Sales are becoming really hot right now. Like if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, we keep closing deals. We keep opening deals. We're gonna continue to do so. Everything starts from your mind. Find that moment that you need to reset.
Mhm.
You guys know what I'm saying? It could be with family members, something. It could be something reset. And then understand that like you guys are in a business that literally, I'll tell you something that's interesting. Even if you have asset in 10 years, you're still gonna be super successful because you're gonna close deals. I'm just trying to put in your pocket $250,000 now so that it becomes such a big impact and a shock that you don't stop. You don't stop. So today, let's get into the escrows. Let's get into the contracts. Let's not forget to follow up with the people that made a commitment to us to do something. And this is the one thing I always tell people. How many of you guys have gone to customers' house and then you never replied to them and you kind of forget them? I've done it. How disrespectful of me to do that. You know what I mean? How disrespectful of me to do that. If somebody gave me the goodwill of like, hey, Jesse, you're going to represent me and I don't follow up, even to give them bad news, even to tell them, hey, 1 year from now, we'll get it all done. They'll appreciate that way more than, oh man, Jesse just started ghosting me and I don't even know where he's at no more. Because their interpretation of it is like, damn, I didn't qualify that at all, huh? But hey, I've had customers that, and this is the story I always say, super broke, all of a sudden somebody won a $500,000 lottery. Tell me why they were my cash buyer. The guy that I would never expect. He went, got a scratcher, got $500,000.
That's why you don't burn bridges.
You don't. And that $500,000 came in really, really good when we closed the escrow because I'm like, man, I gave them the right information versus shining them off. They always appreciated it.
That really happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's very, very crazy. And the guy, all of a sudden, he was like, his purchasing power was like, I'm in cash. It was a little tough though, because he thought he'd like the 500,000 were like $5 million. But we still got the deal done in cash. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to happen. You guys just need to understand that the life cycle is going to happen. Like imagine you start right now with all the bad customers that inside, and eventually after 10 consistent years in the industry, you have only solid qualified customers all the time.
And referrals from that.
And referrals from that. And see, my long-term goal is I would love to be able to tell my kids, hey, I have a nice book of clients. You can sell it or you guys can continue to work it. Because those people keep buying, you know what I mean? So long-term goals for you guys to have. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in and paying attention.